Hey guys, happy Thursday. Today we are going to be talking about thyroid. So, thyroid on Thursday. All right, we talked about hormones last time, and I said I was going to piggyback on that and touch on the thyroid and just give you guys some useful information. So, you might want to take out a piece of paper and a pen, or maybe your note on your phone, because you're going to want to write a couple things down as far as your thyroid labs. The reason I'm telling you that is because exactly 100% of the time, without exception, people come through here and usually it's because they don't feel well. And then, of course, kind of talk about the hormones, and then I say, how's your thyroid? And it's one of those things people skip really quickly past it, and they say, oh, my thyroid's fine, my doctor says it's fine. And this happens all the time. And every single time we pull up their labs, I see that their thyroid has not been assessed appropriately. The right labs are not being drawn. Okay. And then, when we do draw the appropriate labs, order them on our own, or if their doctor is willing to, their thyroid, in fact, is not fine. Okay. So, let's also talk about fine. We have within normal limits. LabCorp has within normal limits, and I always want to reiterate to people, within normal limits is based on a sick population. And just to give you a little bit of reference, I think we talked in a video before about at least 60% of Americans, probably more, 75, are overweight. So we can already assume that they're insulin resistant, okay? And so that is what your norm is being based upon, okay? So when I talk about within normal limits, you can be down here and still be within normal limits, but that doesn't mean you're optimal. So I want to really reiterate the word optimal to you, because just because we're within normal limits does not mean that we are optimized. And the way I coach, the way I run my business is I want people to not be within normal limits. I want people to be optimized, meaning optimal in the reference range. Okay, so let's talk about the thyroid. When people go to their family doctor, and I'm not bashing family doctors, they know what they're taught. They were taught to test a TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH is actually a brain hormone. It comes down starting the hypothalamus, pituitary, signals the thyroid to make hormones. Okay, that is pretty much the only lab a doctor will draw, and they will base your thyroid health off of that one value. That is not a useful value to look at because oftentimes it is skewed. The pituitary is not sensing right, and so basically what I'm saying is it's not a useful tool to tell your thyroid health. Okay, maybe your doctor will go the extra mile and order a T4, maybe a free T4. Okay, so that as well gives us a little information, but not a whole lot. The lab we want to be looking at, which is the most important, is free T3, okay? And the reason I'm going to explain to you. T4 is inactive. It sits there and it cannot do anything in the body. It's not doing anything wonderful. It's not floating around, increasing your metabolism, helping your bowels to move correctly, helping your hair, skin, and nails, blah, blah, blah. It just sits there. It's waiting to be converted, okay? So T4 needs to be converted into T3. T3 is beautiful, it's lovely. It is the thyroid hormone that travels around the body and does all the wonderful things. That is honestly the only lab that we really can base the thyroid health off of. So we need to see a free T3. Okay, if any of you have had that drawn, let me know who your doctor is. If they're around here, I definitely want to connect with them because I don't know where they are. Okay, so not only a free T3, but we also need to get a reverse T3. What is a reverse T3? All right, so hang in there with me. We got T4. T4 has two forks. It can either slide into free T3, and we talked about that, that's what we want. Or T4 can fork another way and go into reverse T3. It's a holding tank. It is not where we want our T3. And why does it slide over here? Because we didn't have the appropriate means of conversion, okay? And it gets pretty deep, and I'm not gonna go there right now. I just want you to know free T3 or reverse T3. We need to check that reverse T3. Because the higher your reverse T3 is, if it's over a 10, 12 max, the worse you're gonna feel, the worst time you're gonna have losing weight, thinking, I mean, everything is just gonna feel terrible. All right, so let's just say you are hypothyroid and your doctor, based off your TSH, puts you on a medication. What medication did they put you on? Thyroid, of course. Everybody gets put on Thyroid for the whole world. But let me tell you about Thyroid. Thyroid only works for not a very large percentage of the population. Why is that? Thyroid is a T4 medication. Okay, so we are giving you a T4 medication, and we're crossing our fingers hoping that that T4 medication is going to convert into free T3. And only about 20% of the population can actually wonderfully convert. So if that's you and you're on Thyroid and you've got your free T3 optimized, congratulations, you're lucky. For a lot of people, what happens is they don't feel better, so their doctor says, oh, let's just keep increasing the dose. Now we're up to like a gazillion milligrams or whatever of Thyroid a day, but that's never going to work because they're not converting. And what have we not checked on them? The reverse. Let's check the reverse on you people that are on Thyroid, because I guarantee if it's not working and you're not feeling well, your reverse is up here. Get that checked. Okay, so what do we do? Thyroid is not a really super medication. So when we find a doctor who knows what they're doing, and again, no, I'm not bashing on PCPs. They know what they were taught, but a lot of people need a T4/T3 medication. And then some people need an additional T3 only medication, myself included. I'm on a T4, T3 med plus more T3. So we got to check those labs. The other thing we have to check with the thyroid is antibodies towards the thyroid, okay? We've got two labs we have to draw, TPO, and we have to check a TGA. I see some doctors checking a TPO and not a TGA. I see some doctors checking a TGA, not a TPO. And 75% of the time, when I have that person check the extra one, it comes out positive. So what I'm saying is this: my TPO antibodies are positive and my TGA antibodies are negative, okay? So if you're just getting one checked and your doctor tells you you're fine, don't accept it. Check the other one, even if you have to do it yourself. So what does that mean if you have antibodies against your thyroid? So antibodies against your thyroid means that you have soldiers in your body who are mounting up to attack your thyroid, okay? And we don't want them there. It's an autoimmune disease. It's called Hashimoto's. It's not rare. You're not special if you have it. Lots of people have it. I do. I have antibodies against my thyroid. I started to produce them last year after my first Lyme episode. All right, so what do we do if we have antibodies against our thyroid? There's actually a lot we can do, and it's not with medication. It's called lifestyle. A lot of people know that they do have Hashimoto's, and they are unwilling to make lifestyle changes because it's too hard or too complicated for them. And that is a personal choice. But you do have control over controlling those antibodies. First, we cut out gluten, because gluten molecularly mimics thyroid antibodies. So we have to get rid of the gluten. Every time you eat gluten, it mounts up as a soldier and attacks your thyroid. It just happens, okay? And if you tell me you don't eat much gluten, you are eating gluten. One little breadcrumb of gluten is gluten. 20 parts per million, that's all it takes. You got soldiers lining up to attack your body. So be mindful of that. Gluten, sugar, of course, alcohol, of course. Some people need to cut out dairy because it can be inflammatory. I'm lactose intolerant, and I also don't tolerate dairy very well, so that's just a no for me. So another thing we can do is take a supplement called black cumin seed oil. It is anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. It's been used for centuries, and it is an amazing tool for decreasing antibodies against the thyroid. So the reason I'm telling you about the thyroid today is because everybody thinks their thyroid is fine. And I have not read one person's thyroid, free T3, women, I'm going to talk about women. I have not, because those are the labs I usually read. I have not seen one woman bring me their labs with a free T3 that is optimal. Okay? Lab core range is 2.0 to 4.2. To be optimal, we want to be in the upper quarter of the range, meaning we want to be about 3.8 to 4.0, maybe even 4.2. I see largely average free T3 coming in at around a 2.4. That's pretty darn low. So for you ladies especially who are doing your due diligence, you're replacing your hormones, you're doing all the lifestyle things, you're not eating garbage food, you're not drinking alcohol, you're walking, we call it all the things. You know what I'm talking about, especially for those of you who coach with me. If you're doing all those things and you're still like, I can't get rid of this last 8 pounds or 10 or whatever, look at the thyroid. If you have body pain, when I got my thyroid optimized, my body pain literally went from 10 down to a 1.5. It wasn't the hormones that got me my body pain, it was the thyroid. Who would know? Women come in, my hair's falling out, thyroid, look at your thyroid. Oh, my thyroid's fine. No, it's not. It's probably not. We go through menopause and we go through thyropause. And just because we are giving medication to optimize our thyroid, please don't look at it as, yes, it's a pharmaceutical, I get it, but you are replacing your hormone. Replace, like the person who becomes, type 1 diabetic, their beta cells stop working in their pancreas. Are we going to say, just let's naturally try and heal you? No, we're going to give them insulin. We want to optimize them so their lives can be better. They can work and they can, self-regulate their, their body. So the same thing with thyroid, and I want to harp on this again. Replace what we lost. Can you revive your thyroid and make it start functioning again better than it is if you are living a dumpster style lifestyle? Yes, you can. So for people who come in, they're eating a lot of ultra processed food, using a lot of toxins, burning candles in their house, they got the Glade fresheners, blah, 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 blah. Get rid of it all. Let's see how your thyroid looks. Maybe you can get it closer to optimal. I don't know. That's kind of like a thing we work through. But when we are 50 and over, it is in our best interest to look at optimizing our thyroid. So if you do not have a doctor who's not willing to work with you, fire them. I don't care if you like them and they're your best friend. If you feel like hard garbage, get rid of them. I want to empower people. I want to empower you to take control of your health and to feel the best that you can. And if it's not going to happen with the PCP that you have, you need to find somebody else. I had to look far and wide, and I finally found a doctor online. Her name is Dr. Amy Horniman, and she has been a lifesaver for me. Because not only did she get my hormones optimized, but she got my thyroid optimized. And I will tell you, I am feeling so much better than I did a year ago. But I had to look. I made very hot, fast work of figuring things out. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. So, if you guys have any questions, again, if you would like to have me look at your labs, I'd be happy to. I'm sure most of you don't have these labs drawn that I have suggested. So if you want a link to draw them yourself, let me know. I'll send you a link. And you can do it yourself. You pay online, you go to LabCorp, they draw your blood, and you get the results. You're the master of your ship. Get your results. Find somebody who knows how to help you. I can help guide you as well. All right. If you guys have any questions or you want to make any comments down there, if anybody's on Thyroid, it's working really great for you. If you're on it and it's not, you can let me know your experience with that as well. And I want to reiterate again, I love functional medicine doctors. I love integrative doctors. I think they're great. But I will tell you right now, I've seen a lot of MDs practicing allopathic medicine for 30 years hang their sign out one day and say they're functional doc. Check their credentials. See where they've trained at. Ask questions before you go. I do. Anytime I start somewhere new, this is what I want to know. What thyroid labs do you check? Do you check a free T3 or reverse T3? Do you check for antibodies? If the answer is no, or they don't want to tell you, move on. Don't go in there and waste your money. If they say yes, say, what medications are you open to using? Are you open to using leothyronine and a T4 and T3 meds? If they're like yes, great, sign up. You want to go see them. If they act like they don't know what you're talking about, they don't want to answer your questions, don't go. Not a good sign. Red flag. Anyway, all right, so I will talk to you guys later. I think next video we're probably going to talk about insulin, because that is also something that people need to be educated about. All right, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon. All right, bye-bye.